I have to say, unlike Brenton, my mum is not here because she's actually overseas, but I have my lovely husband in the audience, so I'm really excited about that. I had to embarrass him before I started. He did come to the Tall Poppy Awards session, so it's my second time listening to me, I'm sorry. So hello everybody, my name is Tatiana Soares da Costa and I'm a plant biochemist at the University of Adelaide, fighting the war on weeds. So quick show of hands, how many of you are annoyed by the weeds growing in your backyards? I think every single one of you has put their hand up. Me too. If your backyard is anything like mine, weeds are really setting up home everywhere. They're even growing in the cracks in my driveway. Does it happen to you guys as well? Yes, it's horrible, isn't it? I call it my thriveway. But this is not only happening in our backyards and driveways, they're happening in farms all around Australia and the world. So weeds have been at war with food crops for many years. They battle for resources like food, water, and sunlight, leading to reduced crop yields and quality. This means less food produced for you and I. But we have allies in this war. They are chemical weed killers called herbicides. So for decades, we have used herbicides to kill those pesky weeds, and they have become an essential tool in agriculture to ensure food supply. Unfortunately, our current herbicides are failing. And that's because those pesky weeds are quite clever and they have found ways to become resistant to their effects. That sounds like a pretty big problem, doesn't it? Well, it is. So herbicide-resistant weeds have now invaded over 40% of cropping land in Australia. And it's costing our Australian farmers over $5 billion every year. To make matters worse, there have been no new herbicides developed over the past 40 years, and our global population is just getting bigger and bigger. We're set to reach 10 billion people by the year 2050. So my question is, how can we keep feeding our growing world population if we're losing the war against these pesky weeds? So I lead a research team at the University of Adelaide dedicated to discovering new and safe herbicides that are less prone to developing resistance. So how do you do that? So we take lessons we have learned from our battles against bacterial superbugs and apply it to herbicide resistance in weeds. From looking at the slide, they don't look very similar, do they? But I have found that they're actually quite similar at the molecular level. So superbugs and weeds can be killed by very similar molecules. So molecules that we use to kill superbugs can be applied onto weeds to kill them. So this could be a game changer in the agricultural industry, as it could help us develop herbicides much more quickly and cheaply by leveraging research that's been done against superbugs and applying them to herbicides. So using this approach, we have discovered molecules that can attack weeds in multiple ways simultaneously. It's like killing two birds with one stone, but in this case, killing two weeds with one herbicide, making it much harder for weeds to develop resistance to these molecules. So by combining exciting science, innovative approaches, and environmental awareness, we are hoping to find a safe solution to our pesky weed problem. So my research is trying to help farmers by giving them the tools they need to overcome weeds. That way, they can keep producing enough nutritious food to keep feeding our growing world population. It's also going to give us the tools we need to fight those pesky weeds in our backyards and driveways, so they're no longer thriveways. Thank you.